Our men are tiring and some of our boys are running. Suffered quite heavily on the left. Churchill is wounded as well. Welcome back, or welcome for the very first time to Worms and Warriors. We're back here with Grand Tactician the Civil War. We're playing the historical battles. And today, it's the turn of the Battle of Wilson's Creek. If you missed the last episode, why not head back to the first Battle of Manassas video and check it out. Today we are heading to the Battle of Wilson's Creek in the southwest of the state of Missouri, just north of the Arkansas state line. The battle takes place southwest of Springfield. We're going to be playing as Benjamin McCullough. Although technically I think Sterling Price also held like equal level of command. I think Sterling Price actually historically outranked McCullough. McCullough is on here as a major general, but I want to say he was a brigadier general back then. I don't actually know. Maybe I'm wrong. But Sterling Price is a major general. It's between these two guys. Anyway, Sterling Price or McCullough. They commanded this army. I should have probably done a little bit more reading on it. But as you can see from the numbers here, the Confederacy has numbers on their side. 10,200 men fielded to the 5,600 Union troops. However, the Union does have some regular infantry, whereas the Confederacy is made up of like volunteer troops, the Missouri State Guard, and some troops from Texas and Arkansas. So it's going to be an interesting fight. Historically, this was a Confederate victory. Casualty numbers were fairly close historically, but anything can happen in this game, you never know. So it's August the 10th, 1861. It's the first major battle in the Trans-Mississippi region, and it should be a good one. We're going to play it on very hard, of course, as always. It's the only way to really play this game, to be honest. If you're playing it on the lower difficulties, it's even easier. It can definitely be challenging this game on very hard. It just seems to depend what the AI feels like doing. But anyway, let's go ahead with this. If you want to read this, I'll just quickly flick through it, and you can pause the video and read the description of the battle at your leisure. But there we are. There's not much to it, really. So, yeah, let's get going here. Very hard. We're fighting Nathaniel Lyon and his Union guys in southwestern Missouri. Let's get going. Alright, so here we are on the battlefield. You can feel free to read this at your leisure by pausing the video and going right ahead and doing so. Just before we get started here, this video will be chaptered, so if there are any bits you want to skip over, just go to wherever you want to be in the chapters and start from there. We're going to have a quick talk about the forces on the field, I mean very, very quickly. And we're going to just crack on with this, basically. So it's the Battle of Wilson's Creek, Springfield, Missouri. We're sitting on a minor defeat to start with. I guess it's because of morale penalties. The Union has come and attacked us, so Lyon has brought his forces down here, despite being outnumbered 2-1, and he's going to take the fight to us at Oak Hill, Edwards Cabin, and Sharp Stubblefield. So they're the three objectives. The plan, very, very basically, we'll have a quick look at the order of battle first. So it's a bit all over the place, really. So the organisation at this stage of the war isn't what it became. So we've got McCullough here with his Western Army, we're grouped into two divisions. We've got the Arkansas State Troops, 2,200 men under Nicholas Pierce. And then we've got McCullough's brigade, which is actually commanded by McIntosh. McCullough commanding this corps, I suppose we would call it. So Pierce's division, as we can see, it's quite a large division, but it's only got 2,220 men. So these are very small units. 350 men here in the 1st Arkansas. 40 men in Carroll's cavalry. I guess these are just like small companies raised by local troops. I don't really know. I'm assuming that. The Arkansas State Troops here, the 3rd, 500 men under Gratiot. I'm not sure how you say that name. 550 men under Rector Dockery with 650 more men. And then 2 sets of guns, Napoleons and some field guns, 6-pounders. And then we've got McIntosh's brigade, which is actually larger than Pierce's division, I guess, the state troops. Anyway, McIntosh's brigade, it's McCullough's brigade, but under McIntosh. They've got 2,700 men. They are consistent of the 3rd Louisiana Infantry under Louis Hebert. 700 men armed with Mississippi rifles. Now, all these other guys were armed with mixed muskets and smoothbore Springfields. So Mississippi rifles could prove to be a game changer here. They have a nice long range. And then we've also got McRae, Lieutenant Colonel McRae with the 3rd Arkansas Infantry. 220 men there, so tiny little force. And then we've got a bunch of cavalry backing them up, armed with a mixture of smoothbore muskets and mixed carved weapons, like shotguns and Muskets, I guess, poor weapons anyway. And then we have the Missouri State Guard, which is under Price. Price is on here as the Army Commander, denoted by this 4 X's, okay? Now, we've got Rains with the 2nd Division. These are nearly, I think they're all Missouri troops in this force. Then we've got Clark with the 3rd Division. Now these are not really divisions. It's 573 men, which, you know, is a regiment or battalion or whatever you want to call it. Some mixed cav and infantry. Whoops, that's annoying. Then we've got Slack, 884 men there, split into 2 infantry regiments. Hughes Infantry and Thornton's Infantry, backed up with a small cavalry force of 234 men. Then we've got Parson, Mosby M. Parsons, I should say, with another tiny little force here, 195 infantry under Colonel Kelly, 406 men of Brown's cavalry, and they are backed up with a battery of field guns. Then we've got McBride and his division, again 645 men, tiny, split into Wingo's infantry, 300 men, and Foster's infantry, 305 men, and backed up with 40 men of Campbell's cavalry. So very small little troops here, which is going to make this an interesting fight. Let's come out of this HQ view. We are set up like this. Line is coming down from the north. We know that from the write-up. So we're going to try and hold this hill up here. Oak Hill North. We're going to try and hold that. So my first thing's going to be, I'm going to pull Cawthorne back and hope we can make it back before we get attacked. Anyway, so there's that. I'm going to set some other movement on the go, and we'll cut back in when that's done, and I'll talk through what I've done. Alright, and so basically I've given movement orders to everybody. This cavalry here is going to move forward and support our cavalry line, which we're forming here, which is Cawthorne's boys who are pulling back. The infantry is all moving forward. All the separate divisions are coming forward. We're going to try and make a line here and see if we can take the Union on in this kind of area, as well as on this hill. So we've got some troops moving across to form up on the hill, but the majority of our infantry is going to form down here. We're going to take our time, and we're going to do this. Let's get started with this battle. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, 10th of August. It's a little risky pulling our cavalry straight out of here, I think, but we'll see what develops with that. I'm going to speed things up a little bit here just to get things moving. As always, everything in this game takes a long time to get going. Orders have to filter down, and men have to then get their troops moving. I'm sure I'd already given orders to the 4th Division, but nothing seemed to have happened. Sigil arrives. Okay, so that's Union. So yeah, we still haven't really started moving yet, and the Union is pulling forward. This is maybe I Squadron, 2nd Kansas Cavalry? I'm not sure. I'm guessing that's I Squadron. It's I something. But here comes the Union Cavalry. We can see them moving in. We can see the dust getting kicked up in the rear by the rest of their troops moving on. Well, it would definitely be nice. Oh, there we go. We're moving. I didn't really want to fight down here. I wanted to pull our cavalry out before we were fighting in these woods. I'm happy to let the Union come forward and see what they've got. We'll adjust our men once they're over the rivers and whatnot. Troops are going to be tired by the time they get over there and disorganised. Remember, this is very early in the war, so these troops are not veterans or anything like that. Just taking our time, letting our boys get into position. See if we can draw these Union guys in and take them out piecemeal. That'd be nice. The roads are a little congested here, so it's taking our boys a little longer than we'd like. The South Kansas, Texas men under Greer. Pulling up. Getting ready for some action. Again, with it being early in the war, it is the first battle for most, if not all, these guys. Denoted with this little first symbol down here on the bottom left of your screen. For most of these units, if not all. Yeah, Greer's moving really quickly. This cavalry has managed to withdraw here, Cawthorne's boys. Union is marching along this road. We've got the 1st Missouri, the Home Guards, another cavalry unit, and we've got the I Squadron of the 2nd Kansas. I'm going to call them I Squadron, I don't know if that's what it is, but they are coming forward straight through these woods. And I'm going to dismount our cavalry here because I think we're going to be fighting as infantry pretty much. Some decent weapons here. The Smith carbine. Mixed carve weapons. Maynard carbine. Again, not bad. The action is coming close. I'm going to get this back down to single speed. I'd forgotten we were on double speed. I thought things were moving rather quickly. Alright, nice. So, Captain A.J. Campbell and his 40 men, they're going to stay here in reserve, really. I mean, what can you do with 40 men? They'll run before anything happens. The 3rd Louisiana still crossing the ford, followed quickly by the 3rd Arkansas Infantry. Going to reposition McCowan's cavalry. Keep an eye on this D Squadron, the 1st US Cavalry. Move our boys forward a little bit here. Keep a nice firing line going. It is almost 6 AM. The 2nd Missouri, only 150 men here, coming to engage us. Some artillery moving into place as well. As well as the 2nd Kansas and the 1st US Infantry. So they are regular troops. Something we will definitely have to keep an eye on. Taking our boys a long time to get through this ford, and they're tired. Oop, the skirmish is coming out. Oh. Hit our small cavalry force there. I had to order them to withdraw, but it took forever for them to get the orders. Just going to charge them into these skirmishes, see if we can do anything with them. I mean, it seems unlikely. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. They've lost 10 men. Let's get them the hell out of there. Yeah, they're done. Shit. So yet again, the Union AIs advanced and then just stopped and doing nothing. But you know, what can you do? Rains has not advanced with his troops either, which is pretty damn annoying. Heavy fighting on our right now. 2nd Missouri is fleeing. We've engaged the 1st US Infantry. cause some mischief on our left. So the D Squadron, the 1st US Cavalry, is routed. The 1st US Infantry is still in the fight. They've lost 30 men though. Let's try and push in a little closer here. Our guns have also opened up. Fighting hard, the US infantry here, the 1st US. As you would expect from regular troops, of course. We're going to push down here into the 1st Missouri. They've been hitting the flank here with these Smith carbines, pretty decent weapons. They have a rate of fire of 7 rounds per minute, which is great. We're going to keep these guys mounted. In fact, you know what? Let's dismount. Let's dismount Farnsworth's men. I think firing is a little bit more accurate when you're not in the saddle. The 1st US Infantry is now running. And we're giving F Battery of the 2nd US Regiment some fire from our 6-pounder field guns. Getting all our guns into play here. The 2nd Missouri is fleeing. The 1st Missouri hopefully will be hot on their heels. So they are drawing in now on our right flank, which gives our cavalry, our dismounted cavalry, a chance to hit in the flanks. Let's bring them forward. So the second Kansas looks like it's on a bit of a suicide mission here, just marching straight across the front of our men. The vast majority of our infantry hasn't even joined the fight. I'm going to bring some of these guys forward a bit. Yeah, the 1st Iowa disorganized, but there are 800 of them, so we've got to watch it. Greer's boys holding their own here against the 1st Iowa. A lot of noise. 1st Missouri is routed from the field. Let's see if we can get rid of the 2nd US Infantry. Heavy fighting in the woods on our left. Very interesting fight here. Hitting those gunners right where it hurts. Peyton is struggling. They've took sort of 90 casualties. We're going to have to do something here. And that's done it. So the guys on the Union flank are broken. Let's bring across and hit this enemy in their left flank. Our right is swinging around. Our men are tiring and some of our boys are running. Suffered quite heavily on the left. Churchill is wounded as well. I mean, the Union can still pull us around. Maybe not anymore. We are coming around the rear here. McRae with his battalion. Going to hit the 1st Iowa in the rear. They've lost 150 men. They've done an excellent job holding that little section of woods. I suspect this might be too much for them. A lot of Union dead here. They are finished. They are fleeing. You can't blame them really. The enemy is retreating. Okay, excellent. Nice job, boys. Greer done a great job, and excellent work from Greer and his cavalry. Very, very well done. Half an hour left to go in this scenario. I'm just going to speed this up because it's basically a mopping up action here. We've completely routed the Union from the field. They are fleeing everywhere. We did lose a handful of men, a couple of units running away, and one of our commanders was wounded. Oh, Bledsoe didn't fancy moving. Never got into the action. Never mind. A fairly easy fight. A bunch of our troops didn't even engage. Historically, the Confederacy won this fight, but they were too disorganized to follow it up really and capitalize on any gains they made here. A lot the same as Manassas Bull Run in the east, you know, same kind of thing. Very disorganized, and they just couldn't follow up what they had achieved. So let's have a quick look here then. The Union lost 1,200 men out of 5,500. That's pretty disastrous casualty levels. We lost 586 out of 10,264. I'd like to think if this was historical, we would now press on, capture Springfield, and maybe march north into Rolla. But anyway, it didn't happen like that historically. This was a major victory for us. Very nice. I enjoyed this fight. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of it. If you're new here, why not hit subscribe and follow this series along, as well as the other series we've got going on. We play a lot of strategy games on this channel, as well as having some historical content. But anyway, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day. Ta-ra for now.